welcome to my tips for the AFL Round 12. Let's have a quick look at how we went last week before we dive into the selections, which are at the bottom of the screen. So last week we got 6 of the 9 correct, giving us a accuracy now of 55.5 out of 74, which isn't too bad. Looking at the games we lost, they were 58%, so just over one goal. 64% just on that 2-goal range, and 55%, which again was under that 1 goal. So did pretty good on those where we predicted at least the 3 goals again, but obviously the odds on those were quite low. Looking at the line, we had a horrible run on the line, although the week before we did quite well. So looking at the line, we only got 1 of those right, which not great. That has got us back to just on 50-50 with the line, which is pretty much random chance. But given that I'm doing every game, not surprising. You really want to be picking those where you've got more than a margin of like half a point. Like if we looked here where we actually won, it was minus 34.5 and I had it at 35. They're kind of games that you want to stay away from, similar to this 18 and 18.5. You're looking for those where there's a bit of a clear discrepancy. Now, if we have a look at what we could have bet, so if I just move over, we've kind of got 3 running totals here. We've got 1, 2, and 3. There was nothing in the third column, which is when the first 2 columns align. This first one is if there is value, so these are what my fair odds are. If we got odds above those fair odds, how did we go? This week we didn't go too good, only getting 1 of the 4 games, so we lost 2 units on that, leaving us still up since I've been posting 3.5 units. If we looked at those which are 3 goals or more, so that means that there is a predicted margin here of 18 or more. So you'll see here we had 3 of these for the week. Did they win? Pretty much 3 of them won this week. So 3 out of 3, it took us up to $2.88, so 2.88 units. And you're going to have a fairly high consistency rate with that one. And the last one is just where they match, where they both align. That's currently down 0.25 units. I think it's only had the 1 loss, but you have such low odds when you're looking at games with 3 goals of a margin. So that 1 loss currently has it down. So let's have a look at how we go this week. One good thing, I am still top of the tipping comp, have been since round 1 in both of the tipping comps I am in. So these tips obviously are going quite well for that. So let's see how we go in round 12. So in the Brisbane versus Essendon game, I've got Brisbane by 81%. The predicted margin's 32. The odds are $1.11. The handicap there is a minus 42.5. So we're going to take Brisbane to win, obviously, but we're taking Essendon on the line. Collingwood versus Hawthorn. We want Collingwood again on the win. It's 58% chance, so that is a goal or less at 6 points. The odds are probably pretty low for that, $1.65. You'd probably want to avoid that. And we've got Hawthorn on the line at 8.5 start. Gold Coast versus Fremantle, we have Gold Coast at 68%. 17-point margin, so not quite that 3-goal margin. Odds are $1.45, and we've got Gold Coast to actually cover that spread. GWS versus Richmond. We've got GWS at 88%, so 41 points. That is going to be a bet on the 3+ goals. It's $1.10, so odds are very low. We do expect Richmond to cover that line there, though, at 44.5. Sydney and Adelaide. We've got Sydney. This is such a toss-up game. I got 1 point in it to Sydney. Adelaide are favourites given the way Sydney has played the last few games. Sydney is back home, which probably just gives them the edge here. Will be very interesting to see how it performs. It's going to be that one game that pretty much you're just taking some luck on getting the win, but Sydney are at odds of $2.36. That's pretty good odds for them at home against Adelaide, where I've got it as a 50-50. I'll take Sydney with the 5.5 start. Melbourne versus St Kilda. We have Melbourne at 57%, predicted margin of 6, so 1 goal. $1.58 is a bit short for a 1 goal margin. We take St Kilda with the 11.5 start. And West Coast versus Geelong. We've got Geelong at 84%. It's another 3 goal tip. $1.15 is pretty good odds for that. West Coast has a 38.5 start. So we will take West Coast to get that. Now, if we were to look at the value tips, put these in to see what the odds are. So we're not taking Brisbane, we're not taking Collingwood, we're not taking Gold Coast, GWS. We've got pretty much Sydney this week. The only bet that is value is Sydney, and that is what we'll be taking. When we look at those that are 3 and under, we've pretty much got the 3 which I've identified. So you're going to have Brisbane, GWS, and Geelong as the 3 in there. Now, none of those meet the criteria of enough value and being the 3 goal margin. So let's see how we go this week. Hopefully Sydney can get up, given it's our only value tip. It's got some good odds there. If it goes down, that's okay. We're still getting a bit of value there for that bet. And we will see how it goes. Now, in the tipping comps for Sydney and Adelaide, I will double check this close to game time, just to see what the teams are and see if it does swing to Adelaide. But right now, based on the suspected teams, we're going with Sydney on that game. So should be an interesting game. Should be a great one to watch. Don't forget, State of Origin is on tonight for the NRL fans. Let's see how that goes. Live in New South Wales, so be cheering on New South Wales. But State of Origin is always a game that can go either way depending on which team turns up to win. Hopefully they both do and it's a close game, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I'll get this out and posted so you can check what odds are available to you and you can get your bets on. Thanks for watching. Feel free to add anything in the comments if you've got questions as well. Good luck.